Hello everyone, my name is Ludwigsen, and in today's video, I will be talking about a small island I call Doggoland. Now, I know Doggoland sounds like a dumb name, but in reality, its name was based off the old land of Doggerland, as seen on this map. However, unlike Doggerland is much smaller with a landmass of around 5,900 square kilometers as shown on this map. Another thing about this map is that it shows how Dogland would look like if it was in our world. Now that you know the country's geography, let's talk about its history before its independence. Now, the island was under Scottish rule until it was taken by the British in the late 1600s, but eventually, after many years, on the 6th of May 1850, it would finally gain its independence from the UK and would form the country of Dogland. Now, with all of that out the way, let's now actually start talking about its history from 1850 to 1860. After its independence, the island formed a monarchy and made the person who had led the island to its victory the king. The first king of Dogland was a man by the name of John Osborne, and he chose to make Eldenbright the island's capital. On the 10th of June, the island would sign a peace treaty and a trade treaty with the UK, which improved the relations between the two, whereas on the following day, on the 11th of June, the first ship of coal from Dogland, bound for London, left the port of Swindale without any issues, making it the first trade between Britain and Doggoland. During the summer months, two shipping companies would open up, intending to connect the ports of the island, and on the 14th of August, track began being laid between Eldenbright and the port of Swindale. This line, and the stations along it, would be completed on the 30th of August, and soon, on the 7th of September, King John arrived at Swindale outside of a workshop where a crowd had gathered. The king made a small speech before the doors to the works opened to reveal the island's first steam locomotive. As the engine steamed out of the works, the king announced that the engine was named Elliot, and this day would mark the start of Dogland's industrialization. On the same day, the first passenger and goods train would operate. That wraps up all I have to say about that year, so let's move on to the next year. During the month of January, the railway extended one of its lines all the way from Jamestown to Aliceburg, which was a mining town at the time. February was not off to a good start for the railway, as Elliot would end up derailing outside of Ellenbright Station, and on the 14th of March, a large coal vein would be discovered near the town of Johnsburg, turning it into a mining town. Following the large amounts of iron and copper discovered near St. Maria, the railway decided to use its engine to extend the railway to the town of St. Maria, but they also decided to continue building towards Johnsburg and Aliceburg. This construction, along with the stations, would be completed on the 7th of April. On May 7th, a large celebration occurred for the whole island, celebrating its 1 year of independence. On the 4th of July, disaster would strike, for when Elliot was shunting some wagons at Swindale, one of the cranes, which was unloading a ship at the time, collapsed and it collapsed straight into the cargo hold of the ship, sparking a fire. Though, with Elliot's quick thinking, they were able to tow the ship out and dampen the fire before it could spread elsewhere, saving not only the dockside, but also the ships docked beside this ship. On the 26th of October, a small ceremony was held at Swindale to pay respects to the people who had passed away on the coal ship P.S. Crompton, which had sank in a storm 2 days prior. But not much else occurred that year, so we'll be moving on to 1852. This year was quite dull, with the only noteworthy event being the great blizzard it faced in late December, which caused four ships to get stuck at port for 5 weeks due to the ice and frost, freezing their ships in place. In April of this year, gold was actually discovered at the mines near Warrior Road, which led to the town becoming, well, increased with citizens. And in November of this year, the railway began constructing a line from South Haven to Somerton due to the harbour at Somerton having its ship usage increased by over 200%, which gave the railway a reason to want to expand its lines to there. Now, I can't say much about 1854, as most things that might have happened then weren't documented or written down, so we don't know about them. Therefore, there's not much I can say about this year. So we'll be moving on to 1855. This year, the railway decided to build another steam locomotive to help with the increased workload. Now, it wasn't a massive steam locomotive for the time, it was a simple 440 which was named Jim. Now, Jim and Elliot became good friends as both of them were hard workers with a heart that was in the right place. As for 1856 through 1859, not much in terms of important events happened, making them quite dull years, unlike the following year, 1860. This year would be the year that ended the Doggoland and England rivalry, as this was the year that they finally, on the 7th of June, became allies with each other. So there you have it, the first 10 years of my island's history, which is known of. But I realized that I never mentioned the railway's name, so I'll just say it right here. The railway is called the Donner Valley Railway, which is named after a region on the island which it serves. But also, I just want to clarify to everyone, I know it's not perfect, and it probably never will, but I tried my best. But that's all for this video, so thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it, do please leave a like and consider subscribing, it helps the channel out. But with all of that being said, bye bye and thank you for watching again.